when did you last increase your prices? And is it something that you found easy and straightforward as a regular part of business? Or did it make you feel slightly traumatised and just constantly worrying that you were going to lose all of your clients? I honestly think that that is what most people in business go through when it is time to increase their prices. It's always such an emotive thing. There is always so much uncertainty. But there is one thing which is absolutely certain, and that is that if the prices you pay in your business continue to rise, if your costs are going up, if your suppliers are charging you more, if you don't pass those prices on to your customers, then your business is going backwards because your profit is just shrinking. Now, it's really easy to think my customers can't afford it, everybody's facing the cost of living crisis, there's all this talk of recession, customers can't afford it. It's okay, I'll absorb the cost increases. But what you can find with that is, firstly, you're usually absorbing an awful lot more than you expect you are, and it will dent your profits far more than you realise. But also you get yourself into a very dangerous place where your customers then develop a bit of an understanding that you're not somebody who increases your prices. And the number of people I've spoken to recently who desperately know they need to increase their prices, but they haven't done it for 3 or 4 years. And it's really hard to increase the price for a client who's never seen an increase from you. Whereas if your clients see you consistently, not every 5 minutes, but if your clients consistently see you increase your prices regularly, once a year at a sensible kind of level, it's just an acceptable part of business. So that's much easier to do than to try and bring your clients up to a sensible price when they're still paying peanuts because they're on a 4-year-old price. So some tips I would give you for price rises. Firstly, you absolutely should be doing this as a minimum once a year. But if you have significant cost increases in your business, then you may need to increase your prices more than once a year. But make it a regular thing. Have a plan. Understand exactly what date your price rise is going to take effect from. Give yourself a count back so that you've got some clear time to get in touch with your clients and give them enough notice. Don't give them a crazy amount of notice. There's no point in letting somebody know that prices are going up in 3 or 4 months' time. Just give them probably a couple of weeks' notice, perhaps a month if they're monthly payers or something like that. So don't give them 2 minutes' notice, but don't also give them this massive amount of time to think about it either. And in terms of explanation, what you don't have to do is justify a price rise. If you start to send these great big long-winded emails about all the different things you do and why you've got to do this price rise, that element of justification can often just say to a customer, I don't believe in the value that I'm actually giving you here. So I would say focus on the good stuff you do for them. So actually remind them of the brilliant things that you do and the benefits that they get. Don't just focus on recession and cost of living crisis, because we've all had 15 emails like that already, but actually focus on the positives, the good things you do and how you help them, and a little aside about, unfortunately, costs going up, here's your new price from a new date. Just keep it super simple. Now, as I say, there can be a real challenge if you're not in the habit of increasing prices regularly for clients and if you have some real historical clients. It's always much easier to increase prices for brand new customers because they have nothing to compare against. Whereas a new price for an existing customer is always that little bit more awkward. So you could go down the route of a loyalty price. So, you know, if your existing customers are paying £100 and your new customers are paying £400, you've got a long way to go between the two. So you might not try and bring people straight up to that full price. What you might explain to them is, this is actually my full price now, but because you've been such a loyal customer, I'm going to give you this moderate price increase in the middle, but not a smidge of where they are. You know, if they're a long way down on your current prices, they need to end up closer to that current price than to where they are right now. Because also you've got to bear in mind, if you don't do that, you will end up really limiting your business because you have a stack of clients that are not paying you what they should, and then your capacity is just obliterated. So price rises are not that easy. They often are emotional. To be fair, they are easy if you make it easy, but they are often emotional and quite stressful. If it's something that you really struggle with, if you're sitting there knowing you need to put your prices up, but absolutely cringing about the idea of doing it and just putting it off, then this is perfect for a strategy session with me. This is a one-off Zoom call where we can brainstorm exactly how you would approach this, and we can come up with your perfect plan, and I can be there as a sounding board, as an advisor, an arse kicker, or whatever you need, but you can go away from that hour with a real clear strategy on how you're going to do that. So go and have a nosy at my website, taylorie.co.uk, and have a look at my strategy sessions.